To all of us, it remains a mystery. What is it? Who built it? And why? Now, after 20 years of research, a leading Egyptologist believes he has pieced together clues that lead him to the Sphinx's creator, great pharaoh that history has forgotten. He has unwrapped the story behind the most mysterious icon of the ancient world. Such a powerful image that every time you look at it, you see new things. His new thinking has taken him on a journey to confront accepted history and finally solve the world's most famous enigma, an identity lost, a mystery unraveled. The Great Sphinx revealed. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt would astound the world with their incredible monuments. We know who built the vast pyramids at Giza and how they constructed forests of stone. But the most famous of all their creations remains a mystery: the Sphinx. 4,500 years ago, in the old kingdom of ancient Egypt, a pharaoh ordered the building of an extraordinary monument. His craftsmen set to work on the Giza plateau outside today's Cairo. They were to create a statue that would become the strangest icon on earth. The story of this remarkable pharaoh was lost through the slip of a pen in the 1930s, when an archaeologist simply wrote him out of history, but the statue this pharaoh created has survived. Today, it stands beside the greatest of the pyramids, making the Giza Plateau the most famous landmark in Egypt. At 20 meters high and 80 meters long, the Sphinx remains the largest single stone statue in the world. It is also the biggest mystery. Now, Egyptologist Vassal Du believes he's found the answers. His research has taken him 20 years. After he moved to Cairo, the Sphinx became his life. He was immediately enchanted by its strange shape. I got fascinated by this, a combination of an animal body and a human face. The Sphinx is one of the most studied monuments, yet Vassal wasn't convinced by any of the accepted archaeological explanations as to who created it or whose face it bears. This incredible, most important image of Egypt, the Sphinx, and we just cannot say who it was with certainty. Then I said to myself, there is something to do here. It's an open door. So Vassal set out to re-examine the evidence. He picked his way across the Giza Plateau. Here lie the tombs of the pharaohs and their families. Archaeologists have labeled every one of them, making this one of the most studied sites on Earth. But despite their findings, Vassal has managed to unearth new evidence that could overturn accepted history and lead him to the Sphinx's creator. But the clues haven't always been easy to follow. False trails and dead ends hide the footsteps of the past. Over 4,000 years of history have created blind alleys, and the archaeology around the Sphinx has become a labyrinth of conflicting ideas. Vassal's journey begins with the earliest recorded mention of the Sphinx. It's found on a curious stone tablet known as the Dream Stele, which lies between its paws. It was inscribed and was to play a major role in creating the Sphinx's dark mythology. It tells the story of a young prince called Thutmose, who went hunting on the Giza Plateau. By this time, power in Egypt had long since moved away from Giza. The once glorious Sphinx had been left exposed to the ravages of the desert and had become buried up to its neck in sand. According to the stele, Prince Thutmose rested beneath the stone giant to shelter from the midday sun. He fell asleep and had a dream in which he claimed the Sphinx spoke to him, telling him that if he cleared away the sand from its paws, he would become king. The stele claims he did as the Sphinx requested and removed the sand. But in reality, this was a golden opportunity for Thutmose to be remembered alongside the great statue and glorify his name forever. So, he concocted the whole story upon the stele. Vassal is quite sure its function was self-promotion. The text starts with a date. It mentions the first year of the reign of Thutmose IV. So, for us, the message is clear. This is pure propaganda. He is already a king, and then describes the story. Although this account was pure fiction, the tablet also mentioned the name of another pharaoh, Khafre. Ever since his name was first deciphered, archaeologists have believed that Khafre was the creator of the Sphinx. The first impression and the first thing that was noticed was that behind the Sphinx, you see the pyramid of Khafre. Quite naturally, the idea came that if the Sphinx was built almost on the same line with the pyramid of Khafre, it has to be Khafre. Khafre was one of the greatest builders at Giza. His pyramid stands near his father's Great Pyramid and is just as large. In addition, Khafre built the temples, and their remains are sighted immediately in front of the Sphinx. So, the idea was clear. Like everybody, I thought the Sphinx has to be Khafre. But when Vassal studied the layout, he could see that Khafre's causeway, connecting his pyramid to his temple, was built around the Sphinx. I noticed very quickly that Khafre avoided the Sphinx with his causeway. It is quite clear when he built his monument. The Sphinx was already here. This was enough for Vassal to doubt that Khafre had built the Sphinx. He also doubted that it actually represented Khafre. If it had to represent Khafre, we have a problem, because on all the statues of Khafre, he is represented with a beard. So why should his biggest statue be without the beard? It doesn't fit. So, it is a main argument to say that when people try to put the face of Khafre next to the Sphinx's face, it doesn't work. I mean, it just doesn't fit. The characteristics are different. So, Khafre, the pharaoh historians have always believed built the Sphinx, was eliminated from Vassal's investigation. Now, he was about to discover that a new solution was staring him in the face. But to find it, he was going to have to think like an ancient Egyptian. If he was right,